All right, Shalom. First and foremost, Kuala, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rukwakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone at Ruel. And peace and salutations to all the Yakim out there on the highways and byways, north and road abroad, all around the world, through the spirit and power of our Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So, real quick, I want to get into this lesson. It's going to be, we need the Lord in all things, because without Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we'll be nothing. We'll just be like chickens with our heads cut off, wandering aimlessly round about. So it's important that we need the Lord. This is why the situation that we're in right now is because, we want to cast the Lord and do our own thing. We want to reject Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So by us rejecting Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the curses came upon us. We didn't want to follow the laws. So the curses came upon us, you know, to really chastise us, and to lead us in the right direction, to understand that, we need guidance and we need the Lord, because the Lord chose us to be, the Lord chose the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native and Seminole Indians to be his people. In particular, the elect. It starts with the elect. So we are the first fruits, and here it is, us being in the situation that we're in. It's an example of us, it's an example of not to go astray from our power, you know. And the thing is, he directs our steps, and we don't really control anything. He's really the one that's in control of everything. So in return, it's important to yield, towards our Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because if we don't, then we're just heading down a path of pretty much total destruction. We're heading down a path of like total destruction. So it's important that we, have our Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in our lives, because we don't want to. Because we're already under the hands of our enemies already. Esau, Edom. And a lot of our people, they get caught up in the snares and the traps of this devil. This is why so many of us are in prison. So many of us end up, being killed. In prison, dead. It's because, we don't apply the scriptures. It's because our people lack understanding. They lack wisdom. And the thing is, the men are out there on the highways and byways, we're constantly out there week in and week out, day by day, year after year, telling our people to come back to who they are. But the thing is, they reject it. They reject the word, they reject our Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, So they just reject everything, of the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So in return, the Lord rejects us, pursuant to the book of Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, seeing that thou shalt be no priest unto me. So it's very important that we, have our Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in our lives, because that's what keep us stable, and that's what keep us, in check and in order. And because you really don't lead your way, it's the Most High that leads your way at the end of the day. So real quick, let me start with the book of Proverbs chapter 20 verse Proverbs chapter 20 verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man understand his own way? You see? So man's goings is of the Lord. So how can a man understand his own way? And the truth is, we don't. Because we were created, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native and Seminole Indians, who were created to be, the people to represent Yahweh Bashim Yahushua here on the earth. because he chose us to be his people, and we are his people. So we don't, we don't control our own lives, our own destinies. It's of the Lord. Because if we did, we wouldn't be in slavery right now. You think this so-called white man would be ruling over us? You know, if it if it wasn't for the Lord, for Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, you know, no, because the Most High put this devil in power, and he put this devil in power for a reason, to be a whipping stick, for us, for going off, for not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, And when you don't obey Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, you deviate from the way of understanding, then you're just on the path of utter total destruction. So let me get that real quick. So this is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So the Lord said, the man that wandereth out of the ways of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So if you continue to wander, if you wander out the ways of understanding, which the understanding is acknowledging the truth, the scriptures, the word, acknowledging who you are, coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments, and acknowledging that you're an Israelite. But if you wander out of the way of understanding, then you're just going to remain in the congregation of the dead, along with these other people out here, and 2/3, these other nations, and the 2/3, and that's where you really don't want to be. You don't want to be in that predicament. You want to be in, in the ways of understanding. You want to be in the ways of this truth. Because you being in the way of understanding and this knowledge and this truth, you can navigate through this wicked society that we're living in. You won't get caught up in the snares and the traps and the pits of the society that Esau has set up for us. Because being in this society, being in this pit, there's landmines, there's quicksands, traps, pits that you could fall in, explosives, all these are snares onto our people. And quite frankly, a lot of people get caught up in these things, being in this society, because they don't have the wisdom and the knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to guide them through, to see these things, to see the landmines, to see the quicksands, or the explosives, up ahead. They don't have the spiritual eyesight to see these things. But when you come back into this truth, you come into the knowledge and in this truth, the Most High will open up your spiritual eyes, and you'll begin to see these things, and you'll begin to see things for what it is, for this society for what it is, and you'll understand that you do need Yahweh Bashim Yahushai as your guidance, to avoid these pitfalls, to avoid hitting a landmine, or these pitfalls that the enemy, our enemy, Esau Edom, has set up for us, because that's all this society is set up. The society is set up for us to fail, not prosper. At the end of the day, like we hear that term all the time, like the system is designed for you to fail, and usually it is. But when you got the spirit and power of and the understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai within you, then you'll know how to navigate and how to press through, the pitfalls, and all this other stuff. You know how to navigate through it. Through the spirit and power of our Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And that's the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of these scriptures. So real quick, let me get So this is Psalms chapter 37, verse 23. And it reads, "A steps of a good man is ordered by the Lord, and he delight in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand." So though we may fall, we may probably get caught up in some of these snares, but the thing is, we know how to, maneuver through it, because we got the hand of the Lord of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that keeps us up, and that keeps us focused. So when you 100% yield yourself and submit to the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you're not gonna fall. You're not gonna fall, and you're not gonna get trapped in these in the snares of the enemy. You're gonna maneuver and you're gonna glide right through it. Because you're applying the wisdom and knowledge of and the understanding of these scriptures that you learned. Through the spirit and power of our Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. From the head apostles on down. So this is why, from the head apostles on down, we can proclaim that we have 100% truth, which we do. Not to brag or boast, it's just what it is. That's how the Most High set it up, and that's just how it's gonna stand at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, you just gotta apply wisdom. You just gotta apply the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of this word, and use it, and that's how you navigate, and that's how you defeat this thing. That's how you defeat that's how you defeat the enemy. That's how you get by in this truth, because when Satan tried to tempt our Lord Yahweh Shai, after he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he said to Yahweh Shai, "If thou be the Son of God, command these stones to be bread." But the Lord, confounded him and said that it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. You see, and that's these scriptures, and that's how we survive in this truth, by this word. But with that, just wanted to get a quick hit. Something. This lesson been on my mind, but I'm gonna give all praises and glories due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rakwakadash. Shalom.